Hi everyone and welcome to Rosebud Homestead. Can I just say how much we appreciate our community? You are so supportive and boy do we ever appreciate it. Several weeks ago when I did the video with my sister Cindy on her food storage plan and we announced our book, we got such great support, and we are now up in the northern part of the state where it's colder than where we live, and visiting with Cindy and her husband John. One of the things that we got so many responses on was, could you please do a video on Cindy's caramel corn? And so that's what this video is about. One of the things that I believe in really strongly is the idea that if we ever do have to live strictly on our food storage and the menus that we are going to be putting together in our book and the menus that you are going to be putting together to prepare for any kind of a situation that might be a little bit difficult. We are going to want some deviations from whatever becomes our new normal. And one of those deviations can be desserts and fun foods. And so this caramel corn really fits the bill.
My favorite.
That was my baby sister. So John and Cindy worked together as a team to get this made. So we're going to start downstairs where John is going to be popping the corn, and then we're coming back upstairs for Cindy to do the caramel syrup. And the best part is that you're going to be able to see her football field long countertop where she spreads everything out. So we will be back on this project in just a moment.
I'm going to be popping popcorn in anticipation of Cindy's delicious caramel corn. First, I start with cottonseed oil that a popcorn farmer back in Illinois told us to use. That way you don't have to use butter. And so I turn on the stove and get that popcorn going, or that oil going, I should say. I toss in 3 kernels and wait until they pop before I add the rest of the popcorn. This is my nifty-difty pot that I received from a mother-in-law in about 1975. And so I've been popping popcorn in that for over 45 years. And if I had a nickel for every kernel of popcorn I've popped, we could really retire in style. So these 3 kernels are going to take a few minutes to pop, and then I'll toss in the rest, and then I'll shake it all up so that each kernel gets its own bath of cottonseed oil. And then I'll start popping like crazy and fill up a couple of big bowls for Cindy to put her caramel on top of. We buy lots of popcorn. We buy popcorn in 50-pound bags, and we go through a lot of popcorn in this household. We prefer the popcorn that is grown in Indiana. That's the very best. And here was our first kernel, and now the other 2 will pop real quick, and then I'll toss in this whole red Solo cup, and we'll get to popping in earnest. There we are. Let's make it happen. We get this. This gives every kernel a chance to get bathed in some cottonseed oil, so it'll pop good. And then we just let it sit there for a minute or 2 until it gets cranking. And I salt each batch as I pour. This pot will pop. The amount of popcorn I just put in there will probably fill this up 3 or 4 times. So I pour it off regularly as I go. And then before I put it into the big bowls for Cindy to turn it into caramel corn, I shake down the Mary Janes to the bottom, those unpopped kernels. No offense to anybody named Mary Jane out there. And then take off those really good kernels and put them into the bowls for Cindy to turn into caramel corn. And I will do this, I will pop 2 potfuls for Cindy's caramel corn recipe. And there gets to be a point where you have to shake it a pretty good bit to keep from burning any kernels at the bottom. And that'll be here in just a minute or so that I'll need to shake it to keep there from being any burned ones. Another little bit coming off there. Almost done. Just set that aside, hit that little bit. Just don't want any to burn, so this is when you kind of shake it and rattle and roll it. And that last little bit comes out. And this is the ones, you know, that you really had to be careful to have the Mary Janes in, the unpopped kernels, is that last batch. So you gotta shake it good. I now take these guys, make sure that I've winnowed out the unpopped kernels so nobody breaks a tooth on the caramel corn. And I fill up this bowl, and that is half a batch of caramel corn. And I've got another bowl over here that I will fill up with the next popping. And so we have lots and lots of popcorn here. I think I'll dump that in here just to give it more space to get all those bad guys down to the bottom. And so I'll get back on doing the second batch now with a pan that's nice and hot, so we'll do it a little bit quicker even.
I'm back, and I'm so excited. Caramel corn, I want you to know I have 2 recipes on the inside of my kitchen cupboard door. One is my bread, one is my caramel popcorn, and the caramel popcorn may be more important than the other. I have in this pan on my stove the ingredients to start: the Karo syrup, the brown sugar, and the butter. In an off-grid situation, we will use ghee. I have made this with ghee, and it turns out just fine. But we will cook those ingredients till they boil. Then we'll add the can of sweetened condensed milk, only 4 ingredients in the caramel for this popcorn. Takes about 20 or so minutes on a medium-low heat so that it doesn't scorch. And when it comes to a softball stage, we'll then show you the most exciting and fun part and spread it over the counter. See you in a minute. Hold on to your hats. Here we go. Caramel is ready. Softball stage. Again, I'm not scientific, but here are my 2 big bowls of popcorn. Half and half for each one. I always get one a little more caramel coated than the other, accidentally. But this is the procedure. Stir, fold by folding rather than breaking up these kernels. We don't want to break them. We want this caramel, and then we want to pour it out as quickly as we can because we don't want it to get sweaty and soggy in the bowl. And I'm looking at this and can tell that this will be our lightly coated half. Cooling. And we're going to do the same thing with this second batch. See how this is a little heavier caramel than the first batch. And the lucky person even gets some drapery cord in their bite. All right, do we have any testers, any quality control?
Oh, it's great.
Thank you.
Are you done?
I'm done.
Okay.
Okay, this is it. It's fabulous. So we are all going
yeah.
to have a taste
Oh, yeah.
test.
Yeah, yeah.
Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you later.